today's Local Chronicles, we have a very special Local Chronicles because this is the Chronicles. In this week's tournament, every player was only allowed to play one single copy of the new branded structure deck. Yes, you're playing one Eluber, one Fallen of Albaz, one branded fusion, and of course, basically no hand traps. So yeah, this was a 4-round tournament of branded structure deck mirrors, only one copy per player, and this, for me, of course, was super exciting. And honestly, this is some of the most high-level branded gameplay you're gonna see because it's all super technical, have to manage resources really well because you're playing one Fall of Albaz, and this was an insanely fun tournament. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this Chronicles, and of course we're going into round 1 versus branded. We start off round 1, and Kit is an actually really good starter in this deck. Also branded Regain, play around the Bestials and get an additional draw. Now, the Beast Regained combo is actually really good. During the end phase, what I do here is I pop my own Regain to get another fusion monster in the grave, and then Branded Beast gets to set it once again. That way I can get to Quem. My opponent starts off with the classic Tragedy, but then goes into Ecclesia, special summon Albaz from the deck, and then goes branded in white. I do pop the Albaz here with the branded beast, which doesn't really do anything, but again, I have a little bit too much at this point, which makes it a little bit impossible to play. Now, I do open the Bestial, which is super strong in this limited format, in this mirror match, because it kind of leaves you stuck on the Albion if you don't have the Cartesia to fuse. And I do open mainly Bestials, right? So I opened the Lubellion. My Serenir already got popped with the Fallen of the Virtuous from my opponent, so I got the Retribution in the graveyard. Now I'm able to draw an additional card. I get to Magnamut. Then I get to summon the Granguignol, dump, get my branded fusion in rotation in a little bit. My opponent also activates Blackout Laughs, and we both have the Fleur, which means that I am able to gain 3,500 attack to get to 3,000 and basically go for game here. Now, in this round 2, my opponent gets basically a full setup. I only have a Dogmatica Ecclesia that I can summon. I search the Fallen and the Virtuous and set another card and just pass. My opponent goes for Retribution in the graveyard for Branded Fusion, but I snatch it with my own Fusion Duplication and go for Branded Fusion on my own. Go for a Mirror Jade setup just to make sure I have follow-up because I basically didn't have anything to play in turn 1, but banishing the Albaz and preventing the Branded Fusion basically leaves my opponent on almost nothing. He wants the Albaz on the field to fuse. He goes for Cartesia, activates the effects, and then I change Super Poly to make my own Granguignol with his monsters. It was really hard to play because he had Branded Loss, so I basically couldn't do anything when he was playing, but we managed with only one Dogmatica Ecclesia to steal game 1 of round 2. Now, my opponent basically, this is going to be a super grindy game here. He goes for the Regained and Beast combo with Bestials, which is so strong and sticky. Every turn, get to a Magnamut, add. I have to bait the Retribution here so I can continue playing, so my Branded Fusion gets Retribution, but I have my own Retribution, which means I'm gonna be able to resolve Branded Fusion once more this turn. Now, I did, of course, go for Branded Fusion. He banished my Fallen of Albaz with his Bestial. I go for Sarcophagus, into Mercurior, into Kit, and now Kit is gonna be able to get me one of the strongest cards in this format because you only have one Albaz, Branded Bond. We'll see that in a second. Now, Fusion Deployment gets me Cartesia. He has 2 pops. He has the Quick Play and Branded Beast. So basically, I just gotta bait these out because I'm not gonna be able to fuse. I'm not gonna be able to use Cartesia. He's just gonna pop both my Fallen of Albaz and Cartesia. But at least now the Fallen of Albaz is in the graveyard and not banished. During the end phase, I'm gonna pop his Branded Beast, send a Rindbrum because I already have Albaz set up in the graveyard, and pass. He goes normal summon Cartesia, goes for a Granguignol. I basically have 2 monsters, and I'm just waiting for the right moment here for Albaz. He goes for his own Albaz, I go for my Albaz, and since he's turn player, I'm going to be able to use my Albaz's Chain 2 and fuse 2 of his monsters into the dragon that devours the Dogma. Now I'm going to be able to spin 2 cards. I'm going to spin my own Fallen of Albaz into the deck, and his, I don't really remember what I think it was Magnum, just so he doesn't get to regain it with Regained. He adds back Branded Beast, and the grind now continues. I do have Despian Tragedy, which he uses, of course, Branded Beast to pop my face down. And what I do now is go for Cartesia, which gets me Granguignol. Now I'm going to be able to attack into his Granguignol. He goes for Fleur de Lis to negate my own Granguignol. And yeah, this gets a little bit messy and grindy here. He's able to, once again, pop. He actually summons the Albaz from the graveyard, which I chain Granguignol so he doesn't have a target to fuse. And now I'm going to be able to get myself the Albaz I shuffled back from the deck, go for another fusion summon with Albaz, go for Lubellion, and then again, once again, just shuffle everything. Quem brings back the dragon that devours the Dogma, which is on special summon, not fusion summon, so I'm able to spin 2 more cards. And basically the grind continues. I shuffle back 2 fusions, I go for Mirror Jade, Banish, he of course attacks into my Fleur de Lis, I get rid of his Lubellion, he goes for another Bestial, he summons Albion the Shadow Dragon from the hand by discarding, and then I go for Fusion Duplication, copy his Branded Fusion from the graveyard. I really have not much to summon at this point. I go for a Brigand here, and then what I'm going to be able to do is banish the Rindbrum once again, and go ahead and summon my own Fallen of Albaz. He does banish it with a Bestial, of course, and I do go for Fleur de Lis here to negate his Shrouded Dragon, because he could have contact fused, into a fusion with the dragons, which is basically just what I wanted to do. My Mirror Jade wipes his field during the end phase, and we just don't have time. It could go on forever. He just concedes the match, and this is going to be round 2, where we go 2-0 in the tournament. And before we go into round 3, a little bit of an ad break, because Black Friday is today. So not only you can get 20 to 70% off insanely beautiful TCG and anime accessories from sleevechief.de, and add to that another 5% off with code galzo5, you can also buy a lot of singles, boxes, sealed products, and of course the new Tier 0 Games mystery box, which is only limited to 600 copies, could be a really, really good gift for a friend or family member. And some of them will have YCS prize cards and lots of other really, really cool Chase products. So if you want to support the channel this Black Friday, galzo5 over on sleevechief.de or tier0games.com. Let's continue to round 3. So round 3, we win another die roll. We go for Aluber, Fusion, we have opening as well. So we are going for the full setup here. Lubellion, tribute the Albion, make a Mirror Jade, place Branded Lost in this specific instance. And then we're going to be able to get, during the end phase, actually get ourselves a copy of Dogmatic Ecclesia that's going to get us a Fleur de Lis. The non-target negate in this very limited format is super, super good, because it doesn't matter if it's chain blocked, you can negate the Albaz, you can negate the Aluber, but he does have the Branded Fusion, basically off the top, and also the Shrouded Dragon to, draw a card and bring back the Branded Fusion. So the Branded Fusion eventually is going to resolve here, but what happens here is that he doesn't go for a fusion of Albaz, he actually just summons a Granguignol for some reason, right? But now he's able to summon Albaz with his Quem, discard Blackgold Laughs. I'm gonna the Fallen and the Virtuous pop the Albaz, get myself a Sprint in the graveyard. Now, I do eventually also banish his Albion so he doesn't go into, Lubellion and gets an end phase effect. He didn't normal summon yet. He normal summons the Keeper, which is scary because he can go into Fusion Deployment or something like that, or even Super Poly, right? But I do negate it with Fleur. He goes battle phase, but at the end of the day, I have just too much going on, too much follow-up. And this is going to be a game that is going to be really, really hard for me, because he goes off with Branded Lost and 3 set cards. He's got a Mirror Jade in play. He's got Quem and Cartesia. It's not going to be easy, and my hand is really bad. I'll go for Regained and a normal summon of Keeper, and you see Banishment in my hand, which I discarded, which is just extremely, extremely bad. all I can do is basically just attack. He fuses his Mirror Jade, brings it back with Quam, and I do have Nadir Servant, so awful hand. It was Banishment Keeper, regained Nadir Servant. I do go for Ecclesia, which can search the Fallen and the Virtuous. I'm going to pop his Mirror Jade. He's going to chain the Mirror Jade here, but I do at least get some follow-up, right? I do draw a card off of the Regained as well. I draw the Shrouded. Shrouded dumps the Fallen of Albaz here. I am trying to play, but eventually, like, you know, I don't want to take it to time because this tournament is going to be really slow, and I just lose game 2. So, game 3. The only play I have is normal summon Dogmatica Ecclesia, search the Fallen and the Virtuous, and set 2 measly cards. But I do have a plan because my Fallen and the Virtuous has a secret effect. He goes for Branded Fusion here, dumps Albaz and Lubellion for a Branded Dragon, and then I go for the second effect of the Fallen and the Virtuous, steal his Albaz. He does make a Granguignol, but I do have the Albaz that I stole from his graveyard. So I'm able to make a Mirror Jade of my own, and his plays are rather limited at this point because I have a Mirror Jade and basically full setup next turn. He tries to go for Branded Lost, which he drew off his Shrouded, which is really big. Thankfully, he didn't open it. And then I'm able to banish his Albaz after he uses Branded in white, and he has no way of resolving that. He can now special summon Incredible Ecclesia, go for Nadir Servant, add Dogmatica Ecclesia, search the Fallen and the Virtuous. He pops my Mirror Jade. I do chain my own Mirror Jade just to banish his Albion, so it's not in rotation anymore. And yeah, I'm going to get a field wipe during the end phase here. And I'm actually in a very good spot. Remember, we only started with a single Fallen the Virtuous and Dogmatica Ecclesia that saved me. I did top deck a Fallen, a Fusion Deployment here, which does finally get me to play the game. Yes, with Retribution, everything, comboing off. I'm going to get Branded in white as well, Branded Fusion. I just go for extremely big bodies here, and there's nothing he can do. His set card was Branded Beast, and we take it 3-0. And we go into the final round where I, again, win the die roll, thankfully. This format is kind of hard if you go second and your opponent has Bestials. And this is what happens, basically, where I try to fuse. I do have Cartesia in play, so I do have to fuse into Granguignol here. But I can dump Lubellion, tribute the Albion now. And I get to place Branded Regained. Now I'm going to be able to banish Branded Sword, bring back my banished Fallen of Albaz. Branded Sword is, again, such a good card in this limited format where you need your Albaz. Now I'm going to go for Mercurier. Mercurier, get Kit, and then I'm going to be able to special summon Kit, search for my Branded in white, and yeah, I'm actually going to be able to fusion summon because I have the Albaz back in hand and the Granguignol, which I can use in the graveyard as well. I set Branded Retribution because it's really good in this format. End phase, I banish his Drizzworm, get myself a Dogmatica Ecclesia, and Fleur-de-Lis for the additional negate. I'm really happy with my, with my setup. He opened so many traps, so we definitely do take game 1. Game 2, he starts with a normal summon Albur. I gotta say, I do open relatively custom here. I do have the Bestial right now. It is also a Bestial Magnamut, which will get me another Bestial during the end phase. He goes for Dogmatica Ecclesia, gets the Fleur-de-Lis. I think, does he? Yeah, he tributes the Albion, the Branded Dragon, places Branded Regained here. He does have, I do try to bait out something, so he does set the Branded Banishment during the end phase, which is really a horrible card in this format. I go for a Serenir on his Albion, just to bait out the Retribution because I don't want there to be an Albaz on the field. Now I'm able to tribute the Magnamut for Lubellion. Lubellion is going to place my own Regain that is going to check his Regain during the next turn. And now I can go for Albaz, cost from hand. I did want to contact fuse here, but he made the read and he popped it, yeah. But I do have Branded Regained here, Branded in red. I'm able to go into Rindbrim here. Then I can go into Branded Fusion using the kit I used to search it. I do discard the Black Rod Laughs, which is also really going to come in handy during the next game. I clear up the board a bit. During the end phase, I get Quem, and basically I pass back to him. He goes for Springhand's Kit effect. I'm going to go ahead and use Regain to bring back my own Magnamut. He goes for Branded Bond. Branded Bond, summon the Albaz from Banishment. he activates the effect, and I just chain the Fallen and the Virtuous here to pop it. There's really no better target, and there's really nothing your opponent can do in this format. And then eventually I'm gonna go ahead and use Quem now to go into the Dragon that Devours the Stigmata, and he goes for Nadir Servant. It's his only play, and he searches for Maximus here, and he activates Maximus from the hand. I just chain the Blackout Lapse, and the game is pretty much over at this point. Look at this field, GG's, and this is how we take down the tournament. Let's go. So this has been the most amazing tournament, honestly, I've ever taken part of. So much fun. Branded structure deck, super limited resources, and this was great. Managed to take it all 4-0, get the beautiful playmat finally. I wanted it ever since it was announced, and honestly, yeah, this was a really, really fun episode to film. Let me know in the comments below which other decks you want to see in local Chronicles. Don't forget to like the video, and of course, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.